Hello everyone, welcome back to more chess, playing 1510 against Michael Newblearner as black. Did I already say as black? Okay, there's this whole thing. I'm trying to remember. I don't have any great plans against d4, so I'll just play d5. I did actually watch someone's like instructional video about what one simple plan against d4, but I don't really remember the details. I just happened to see it when I was looking through uh, stuff. Sorry, thinking about what to do here. Um, they don't usually go straight for the bishop, do they? I think this is fine. Yeah, I wound up on a chess player's YouTube channel and was like, oh, I wonder what his videos are, and I saw one that was like, what a simple way to play against d4. And I was like, that sounds nice. Um, and we had the idea of these moves. Are things to get going. And I think bishop here is the place to put the bishop. Knight here. Okay, it doesn't seem to be threatening much of anything there. Just getting to a nice square, I guess. I don't really want to trade these bishops yet. This is going to be my good bishop, and that's their bad one. I'll just put another pawn out there. Okay, now they're threatening to put a knight there, which I don't like. And I think the idea is to create a pawn break here at some point. Right now, I can actually support it. Right, I've got this knight. But the knight is kind of busy guarding this square. I'd rather prepare this first. I don't know, I think this is fine. They don't really want to capture, I don't think. Yeah, I guess the idea is you're maybe supposed to put this out instead of putting the knight here, so you can do this all in one move and you save a tempo. I think I've done something wrong here, but what about this? Like, making their bishop's life quite awkward. He has to go pretty far back. This wasn't what I planned. I wanted to blow up that pawn, but they spent some time reinforcing it, and this bishop is weak. Yeah, I feel like this is nice. I spent 3 moves on this pawn, but okay, fine. Okay, I guess I'll just make my pawns even better. My like supposedly good bishop is in a he's like not very happy right now. Oh, I like this, I think. It gives me an excuse to get this knight out. And then play against this pawn? Like, how are they even defending him? Well, yeah, I can go here and then here. And I don't think they can get a second defender on him in time. The bishop's tied down as well. And now my bishop has another space he can get to. 2 more, really? It's this bishop I have to watch out for. But right now I don't think he's doing anything. I'd like the castle, but it doesn't seem like a high priority at the moment. This knight is pretty good, actually. I could try to get him here and not try to win this pawn. I guess another way to win the pawn would be this. Which gets me towards castling. It's a little slower than queen here. Oh, that's how they get another defender there. Okay. What about knight here? Am I worried about that? Or bishop here? No, that would be bad. So I just come here, right? I could stop that with this move, right, is why I'm thinking about that. But I don't really want to. I want this. I guess the third defender could be the queen. I would have trouble taking the pawn in that case. If they wanted to devote 3 pieces to it. Obviously, my light square bishop completely sucks. I don't know. I mean, maybe I could get him to babysit this pawn. That would be something useful. But if their queen is just sitting here, she's not really doing anything except guarding a pawn, and she's exposing herself to do so. So I think that would be nice for me. They're threatening this, I guess, and so if here, castles, then I could afford to retake, just barely. Although then bishop here would be unpleasant. I could try to stop this, but I don't really want to give up a defender of this pawn necessarily. Or allow this bad bishop in here to trade himself off against my good one. I guess he can do that anyway. Yeah, maybe that's why this is a problematic move, because it allows this to force the trade. Not sure what to do here. Yeah, I feel like pawn here, castles, takes, leaves me in a pretty weak position. Or here. Oh, they can't go here yet. I see. They can't go here because I'll have a bishop there, but after the pawn trade, they'll have a rook guarding it. So maybe I just don't castle? What about here? This defends the rook. Which means I could do this. Okay. So maybe I just like don't yet castle? And I just sit with this. and improve the queen to here. Threatening this. So I'm not going to get to castle kingside, but the center feels pretty safe for me, honestly. And I'm still threatening to take this pawn. I don't know. Maybe I go queenside. Just as a way to activate this rook. It means I have to really keep an eye on the ways into my position. I think they really kind of have to play queen here to hang on to this at all. And I don't really have a follow-up. Oh, I do. Like, well, I don't know. I could kick the bishop away, distracting it, and then win this, but is that really a victory? I think this pawn's better than this one. Well, this one's doubled, but it is an advanced center pawn. So what I want to do is somehow attack one of these pieces. But I can't really do it, right? I guess I can chase away the queen to get this file opened up. They really have to accept the queen trade here. Ah, but they don't have to initiate it. They could just sit, and I really don't want to take here. So this is a fake threat. This doesn't work at all. Yeah. This anything? It looks like something. It lets them trade their pawn, but it activates my bishop in such a way that they have to do this, I think. And then I get the A file, I think. Does that work? I don't... Oh, this comes with check. Oh. That's pretty horrible. Shit. I guess I can go here, and then they can't check me, right? They're threatening some discovery here, but the rook is currently guarding. Not discovery, but like a skewer. It's held onto for the moment. And the king can like step up. Ugh. That bishop was so far away. How is this legal? I don't even know if this is a real threat. It is. It's guarded many times. Oh. Jesus Christ. Okay, I guess I wasn't supposed to come up here. But no, if I come back here, they just, well, yeah. Ugh. Bishop takes here was this big surprise, and so was this, and I don't know. Also, this is guarded like 100 times. I think they maybe could have taken this first. I don't know. But they got to do that with tempo, so why not? My king's having a really bad day. So are my pawns. And my knight. And both bishops. And my rook. The queen, I don't know. You could argue she's doing okay. Even though she's facing up an immediate lethal danger, I think she's fine. She has a pawn at her back. Like, I don't know. This pawn move, I think, was pretty disastrous. I think everything would have been okay if I hadn't done that. I could maybe castle queenside, maybe not. Guess my window size wasn't quite right, huh? There we go. Hmm. This is their bad bishop threatening to trade for my good one, so. But isn't king here good? The bishop and the rook are both under attack, and they can't defend each other. I think it's good. I guess the rook will be defending the bishop, and if they can find a defender for the rook, I'm imagining this, then here would be horrible for me. Yeah, that doesn't actually work. Ah. But take out the queen first, and then go for that? And then they can't so easily defend the bishop. Or the rook, like, at all. They have this attacking the knight, but the knight's defended, so I think it's okay. I think things might actually be turning around for me. I hope I'm not missing something important. Yeah, I saw that, but I could just take the rook. The question is then, how do I stop these guys? Not sure. It should be possible with something like this, maybe, but it could be awkward. Alternatively, I could just take the pawn with my knight and still win a piece. So it's a question of how safe do I feel after this. It would definitely be a delicate balance to walk. But I have currently already a knight guarding the promotion square. I can get another rook over. And if they try pushing immediately, I just take the bishop, right? So they can't just push. They have to relocate the bishop. To where? They can't. They could defend the bishop, I guess. But then takes might be good. Well, they could actually just push, because while I am attacking the bishop... Oh no, I have the knight here. So takes, push. No. Takes, knight defends bishop. Actually, he would defend from here to make him unassailable. I think that would be a good thing for him to do. Then I get a move. I choose this one. Push. It's going to be hard to dislodge this bishop or this pawn. I think I'll just take the safe route. This feels safe to me. I think I'm still winning one of these pieces. I suspect that, like, Stockfish will say I should have captured the rook with my king and just defended all this, but I was worried it would get kind of out of hand. Not being able to bring my bishop to bear would just be too much. Just in case there's some better move? Nope, take the bishop. Yeah, I mean, this is a check. Headed here, maybe? I can step up. But they could defend the rook, or they could move the rook. I feel like I want to go back here. So they can't get the rook anywhere good. It's also guarding the knight. So I think their play should be developing this pawn to maybe threaten my knight and my king. Yeah. I have this, which they could dislodge. I want to activate my bishop, obviously, or my rook, really. So I have this idea. Then if push again, I can go here, and it's defended, so that's fine. They could kick it, but then I grab the pawn. So I think I have time for this. It allows the knight here, but no, not really. I'm guarding it. Then I can get there eventually, but not right away. First, they have to deflect this guy. I'm planning this as soon as possible. Get their rook off of this file. Ah. Now after this, I can't go here. But I could go here if they haven't pushed yet. This gets the rooks off, actually. The rook can't move. So rook here, they have to take. Is this bad somehow? I don't think so. My bishop will do a great job stopping the knight from taking these pawns one way or another. This is coming, but it's not anything yet. And I can just tie everything together with this bishop who has never been so happy to be trapped. This seems okay. Now they can't do this. My king can't get in because the knight and the pawn are guarding this area. That's pretty cool. But eventually I can make enough knight moves to disrupt this, I think. I guess they do have a king, huh? Chess players usually do. So I imagine this perhaps? Then here. So that I can't attack this. I see. I can't actually ever attack this pawn enough times. Well, here, then this. I could just take the pawn. So they have to get the king over here first, but they can do that. So maybe I just have to put the knight here to stop this pawn from getting any further. I don't know, is this some weird stalemate? I'm thinking maybe I can break something here to make room for my bishop to do something. But I think I have to go here first. Yes, the king is now defending that pawn. Good work. So does this really accomplish anything? I think it does. I don't mind going here, I don't think. There's no forks coming up from that. If they try to fork my bishop and pawn, I move the bishop to defend the pawn. Ah, they're double attacking here. I see. I think I can just push here. If they don't take, I have this. Then they just recapture, and it doesn't actually accomplish anything, does it? Shoot. Yeah. It's a bit annoying. They're winning this pawn, and then probably this one. No, I can move the knight. I'll trade those pawns. If, yeah, but now this maybe is something. If you go this way to keep your eye on this pawn, then I can just grab this and still be in time to stop your pawn, right? Double check that. Yeah, your king will have to come in to help at some point. And that gives me enough time to bring the knight in, I think. Here, perhaps. How fast can I get my knight here? Not very. This kind of requires the pawn to step ahead already, right? Ugh. I think I'm losing this. Maybe I needed to do that first? Is there some other way I'm not seeing to get the knight to the right place? Yeah, it's so many moves to get there. Can I make the king move? I don't think so. I guess I could go here instead of here if that were better. I think it's worse. That's fantastic news for me. I can pick this guy up. I don't care about that pawn. You can have him. I guess I see. If they can take this pawn, then I can't ever win because the knight isn't enough to take out. To checkmate with. I think in principle, depending on where their pawn is, no, you need 2 knights for the enemy pawn to technically allow you to checkmate. But now I can do this, right? Like I think stepping back here was a mistake. So now I can get my king over to guard this and then get back to work with my knight. I guess that is not true. I see. No, I cannot pick that up. So I guess we're drawing here, huh? Because I can't put my king here to guard the knight. And they can step this way, right? Attacking both of my pieces. Maybe I'm not even drawing. Maybe I'm going to use this knight so badly that I lose. I don't know. Here. Then I get this. And it's at least a knight and king against knight and pawn, which I should be able to win. Not win, but draw. So I'm losing this pawn anyway, no matter what I do. So I might as well inconvenience the king if he wants it. This is the only legal move, by the way. This would force king here. And guard this square. Yeah, that seems useful. No draw. You gotta take the knight. There you go. Good game. Ugh. Well, at least I didn't lose. I still think all this stuff was fine. Right up until f6. You know, I should look for undefended pieces. I should look at what changes when you make a move and see if there's any reason that's a problem. Either of those would help me identify this has just become undefended. Maybe I would say, you know, put my face real close to the screen and say, are there any attackers on this guy? No. Then it's fine that he's undefended. But if you look a little further away, it is. So I think that would be... Anyway, so... I think that bishop move was a big mistake for them. They should be winning right now. They're up a pawn, but also doing quite well positionally. This allowed me to win material back. Now, I'd be interested to see if it was right to just take the rook here. Let's not ask the computer. Let's try doing it, right? We take the rook. And they don't just push. We saw that already. They go here, defending the bishop first. Oh. But then I can take the pawn. Ugh. Okay. So, right, if they try to hang on to the bishop, they lose the pawn. If they try to push the pawn, they lose the bishop. And then the pawn is not that hard to take care of, right? Knight here defends it, but it can't push. And I eventually pick it up. Yeah. It was just hard for me to visualize that without moving the pieces around, right? Something a better chess player would be able to do. For me, this looked like this pawn was a big enough threat to give up some material to take it. But this should be clearly winning for me. They have to rescue the bishop, I think. And if they do so, they're not rescuing the pawn. So I get the pawn and a rook instead of the pawn and a bishop. And that should be good enough. Okay, but instead what happened was this. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have been so keen to get the rooks off. It felt like their rook was a lot better than mine. Which was certainly true until I put it here. Maybe I could have gone here with it? I feel like that risks something. I don't know what exactly. Not this yet, but maybe someday. Like, the idea would be to track this down. So I think this might have been a better move. And just keep their rook neutralized by virtue of my king being in the neighborhood. And that's probably also better. I could have maybe gone here. It doesn't really make it any easier to fight this pawn, I don't think. I didn't see the idea of coordinating a king and knight on this square. And I think if I had seen it, what I should have done was this. Not put my king here, but somewhere else, so that I still have that square, perhaps here. Now if they try this, right? But I don't know, maybe here? Chases away the knight. Yeah, that does work. So I don't know. Maybe I couldn't hang on to that pawn. Maybe I could have tried to keep more of these pawns on instead of spending my own tempo on trading. Right, like knight here first. But they can always just chase me, so... I mean, if they do, they give up the attack on this pawn. And I come up here. Yeah, maybe that's a cool idea. Where does the king go? If he attacks the knight, I come up here. And then... I don't know, maybe they can do this, and... But my knight and pawn are controlling all of this, so... king tries to track me down, I get away. And if the king doesn't try to track me down, what exactly is he doing? Coming over here? Coming up. Oh, he can't go after the knight, yeah. So I think instead of making this trade now, I should have gone with the knight here. The king can get behind, I guess. But I feel like that's good for me somehow. Maybe it's not. Eventually he'll get to this pawn. Now, if they don't take, they're clearly dead here, right? Because I push. So they do take. And then I guess I just grab this? They wander over to deal with that guy. Yeah, and I can't clear a path for this pawn while still defending him. Suppose this. They just grab it and are very happy. So I don't do that. Instead, I get my king over. Now they can pick this up, and I can threaten to take this, but they can come up and defend. So that doesn't really work. I guess I just bring my king closer. Oh yeah, my king can defend. I see. So if they try to come over here... Now we're really doing something, I think. If this pawn tries to make a break for it, I have to track him down with just the knight. I guess that's kind of a problem. Because they can bring their king in. Maybe that all doesn't work out so well for me. I don't know. This is a confused... Like, it feels like a fairly difficult endgame, even though I should be winning. I'm pretty sure this was a huge blessing for me. Like, I think I might have been losing at this point, right? King here. That was what I imagined. Then what? Pawn push. King here. King here. And what? I'm just like super dead. So I think after this, I have to find some other move? What could it be? There's just nothing. Like, I could go for this, but it's way too slow. There's push, knight move with check, but they wanted to play this anyway, so they don't really mind. Check again? Okay, maybe that's something. Okay, so they step here. No, check again. I see. Maybe my knight can just deliver enough checks to make something happen. So I think maybe I needed to go here. If push, check, I think is fine. Check. Check, right? So suppose they don't push. They can't go forward and defend the pawn. Ah! This is a really important square that my knight can guard without being bothered. I see. So they can push the pawn. And then there's this whole business. Well, yeah, this I guess leads to a stalemate, right? So they don't, if they want to win, they have to do something else. And it kind of has to be this. But then I get everything. So I think it's still a stalemate, even though it looked to me like if they brought their king down to defend, I would lose. I think it's actually a stalemate. And then the ending, I think I'm clearly dead. Is there any... Once I took here... I don't think I really had anything. All right, let's see what the computer thinks. What is that little blip of... Why is there a blip there? What does that mean? Oh, is that the draw offer maybe? No, they sent that right at the end. Oh, that's where I am now. I see. Mate in 5, yeah, and then... Huh. Apparently them putting the bishop there was fine, because my bishop taking was giving up checkmate. So yeah, this was the first most obvious blunder. Apparently I'm behind at this point, due to some inaccuracies in the opening here. It felt like an okay position, but apparently it's not. I don't know, my pieces are all kind of tied up. This would be bad. I wanted them to take me, but they don't have to. So I think this queen b6 move was just nonsense. Yeah, I guess the problem is none of my pieces can go anywhere, and my bishop and rook both suck. Maybe I should do this. It allows the rook to go somewhere. Computer says it's fine. Although after just a moment's extra thought, it said actually no, not fine. It liked bishop here to get out of this, maybe? I don't know. Not sure why that's so great. Okay, so here I was actually winning. I went after this. I guess, okay, so I realized later that this wasn't actually threatening anything. And so I think maybe I should be putting a bishop here to restrict the knight's ability to get to this square. Alternatively, I could bring my king in a bit quicker. But I don't know what I can do with my king. Actually, the knight didn't even use this square. He got here. So I guess it's like bring the king up first, right? It prefers knight back? I'm not sure what that's about. I didn't see exactly how king up was doing anything. Because, like, there's still this iron wall here. Is the idea to get over and defend this pawn? I can't do that either. Maybe get here? But then this pawn might be an issue? I'm not sure. So let's look at that checkmate that they had. So I thought this was bad for them. Ah. Yeah, so I mean, obviously if they retake it, it doesn't work. And I was like, well, there must be some move they have other than retaking. But yeah, bringing in the queen makes sense. Oh, yeah, rook h8 check is also fine. I'm not sure why, though. Pile up on the bishop. Ah, and if the bishop moves, there's queen here, checkmate. So it says free up a space for your king. And they get the bishop, and then... Ah, yeah, the knight's guarding this. That's cool. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, so everything really fell apart when I pushed that pawn, but then they gave it back. It does say you must trade queens or you're badly losing. Step up here. And this... Okay, right, so... Yeah, I can just take the rook. And indeed, pawn push is awful. Protecting the bishop, also bad. Numerous good options, yeah. I just didn't think this through enough. I mean, I had 9 minutes at this point. I did spend like 2.5 of them on considering what to do. But I just didn't visualize things properly to see that I would be totally fine after taking the rook. Oh, well. Still, an instructive game. Sort of. Although I didn't take necessarily the right lessons from it. Yeah, I didn't visualize quite what would happen up here. I always when like making pawn breaks, I'm like, yeah, well they'll take, and then I'll be happy. But the point of a pawn break is that you have to be able to get something even if they don't take. And here, if they just remain still, things are fine for them. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.